All right. We are live. Greetings and welcome to the first ever live recording of the world-renowned, award-winning, critically acclaimed What You Thinking About podcast, Qualified Nonsense. Here at Qualified Nonsense, we like to get into the really important stuff by talking about anything, everything, and sometimes nothing at all. And since this is live, slide into those DMs, jump into chat, ask us some questions. That would be great. Or just let us know that you're here. And, you know, we like friends.
But let's talk about how this is going to go. We're currently live on twitch.tv/qualified nonsense or on YouTube at Qualified Nonsense. Let's see. It'll be about an hour-ish runtime. It'll be interactive, so use the chat. There will be no intermissions, but luckily for you, hopefully you're watching it on your phone, so you can take us to the bathroom with you. If you need to bail, we're going to be recording this whole thing, and it's going to be released in our normal episode at times on Wednesday, August 30th, the year of our Lord.
And now, without further ado, I'd like you to give a warm internet welcome to the original bad boys of podcasting.
Oh!
I'm Brandon.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Matt.
And this is Qualified Nonsense Live.
All right. Oh,
Where's your soundboard?
I need the... Here we go.
Come on, where's your... There you go. Oh, thank you, everybody.
No, stop. You're too kind.
Kind.
Subby15, we see you in chat. Thanks for tuning in. Fucking horns to you too. And Brandon, good to see you.
Brandon Scarth.
Welcome.
What's up, buddy?
And now, I mean, presumably we're gonna get right into the episode, and so
Let's
you get to now sit around and listen to us bullshit because this is how we record a podcast.
Here we go.
Gentlemen, everybody, in chat too. What are we drinking tonight?
Watch everybody. Well, I'm just drinking water.
Water.
It's like, us too.
Just
totally.
Sipping tea.
Yeah.
Fireside chats over here.
Hi, Carrie. What's up? Carrie tuning in from Twitch. Appreciate it.
Who gets to trust a fart first?
What?
I don't know what that means. Subi15.
God damn it. We were having a nice time. I'll start off. This evening, I'm having a Vorsteiner Oktoberfest, and Anna hadn't participated in any of the like German beer
it's
times.
Uncle Mike. It's Uncle Mike York.
No, did you guys not know it was? Yeah, that's Mike.
That's who. Yeah, that's who.
My man. I've got a so on the front of this can, the Vorsteiner Oktoberfest, it says naturally brewed according to the German purity law, and Anna had never seen that before, and she was like, do you think they should rebrand? I was like, yeah, no, but that started before the whole World War II thing, and she's like, they should still rebrand. So
it actually has a more like aggressive name. It's called Reinheitsgebot.
Ooh, right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Purity law.
So good.
It means you can only have 3 ingredients.
Water, yeast, hops, and barley.
Blonde,
and
blue.
Yeah. Yeah, blonde hair, blue eyes. What was the other ingredient? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm drinking it's not my favorite, but it's what we had in the fridge. It's a pumpkin beer.
That's what we have.
I've got a
anyway.
Bell's Two Hearted Ale.
Ooh, nice.
Where's that? Where's
Hell's
that from?
Bells.
Trouts on it.
They're Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, it's a Michigan brewery.
Very nice. Very nice.
How was everybody's week? What'd you guys get up to?
Let's see.
We haven't recorded in a while, so it's more like how's everybody's month been?
I know. Oh, that's a good point, because we were
they don't know that.
We originally were gere
we recorded
live recording a couple of weeks ago, but life happened and scheduling happened, so we're recording it now. But what have I been up to? I remember what I did today. Today I went to Sky Zone with the kids.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Sky Zone's a blast. I love it.
I'm so out of shape and beat up, and oh man, and like one of the first times I went out on the mat, like my toe got hooked and I just ate shit, like right in front of all these parents that were adult enough to not get socks on and jump. And I just like ate shit all over the fucking the springs and stuff. And
Did
people
you
were just
jump
sort
into
of
the
shaking
foam
their
pit, or did you do a slam
Yeah.
dunk on anything?
Just on, yeah, slam dunked on some kids and then jumped into the.
Did
foam
you play
pit. I had a great
dodgeball with the
time.
kids?
I
Do they
did.
have one?
I nailed
Yeah,
both my
that's
kids
the-
in the head, and I felt really bad about it.
That's
but
the. You no, you said you felt built. I
bad.
would feel
Yeah, I
built
felt
too.
built. I was like, let's go.
Look at these.
No.
See these guns. I love Sky Zone. We actually had our smallest birthday there this year. I really enjoy it.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm
I'm
but
still
I'm
able
just
to like
old.
jump off the sidewall too.
Nice.
You know, like,
Nice.
feel like Spider-Man. I'm going around like doing this to all the kids, like
Nice.
pushing them over.
But yeah, otherwise it's been really hot here, so
The movie Dodgeball is training for Sky Zone. That's true.
yeah. Ooh, Brandon getting crazy with the hard kombucha. Let's go. To be honest,
Nice.
how do you guys feel about kombucha? I've had
I think
good
it's kind
ones
of gross to look at, but
to look
or like
at.
to
Yeah.
because it like has a mother and everything. It
Yeah,
feels
no,
like an
it's-
alien movie,
Yeah, it is a little bit alien-y.
but it's good.
I mean,
I like it.
I kind of agree. With, comedian Ian Carmel has a joke about how kombucha smells like a bottle return in July. And then I kind of
I've been
kind of
there.
agree with that. But it is it smells gross, but it tastes fine. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had
I
some good
always
ones and I've had
enjoy
some
it when
bad
I
ones.
have it, but
Yeah.
it's not anything I ever seek out, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although it would be like maybe we should. It's like good for your gut, so like you can get drunk and have good gut
So,
health.
Apparently, who is it? What's the Mayo Clinic says that it's actually not good for your gut. So
What do they know?
what do they know? That's what I said.
Fucking buzzkills.
I was like, what do you guys know?
What's good for their gut? Mayonnaise, because it's the Mayo Clinic. Come
Hey,
on.
nice, good one in your face, Mayo Clinic.
Miracle Whip. Well, so side note, since we're talking about what we got up to, and it's been a couple weeks now, we went to Salish Lodge for our 10-year wedding anniversary
Right.
up in Snoqualmie, which Snoqualmie I had never been to. I guess I
Who's the lucky
probably
lady?
his name is no he so we went up there and it was beautiful. I was kind of nervous about it because like the Salish Lodge is on the falls, like
That's what I
it's
was gonna
built
say.
onto
How
the
you doing?
cliff.
Did you have to take anything?
It was what?
Did you have to take anything for the height?
Oh, just gummies.
My
No,
bad.
no, like that. It was. I mean, it was kind of weird showing up there, but like it's actually built very nice.
Yeah.
I've never done valet before, but you have to use valet because their parking lot is so small that they park their cars for you. So it's like a mandatory tip situation, which kind of pissed me off. But at the same time, I'm just like, ha, here you go, regional.
Nice.
But no, it
Did
was
you go into
relaxing.
The town there, like the
Yeah. So we went to Snoqualmie, and we just happened to be there during Snoqualmie days. And if you guys aren't familiar with the
I'm
town,
not.
it's heavy on. There's a railroad museum there, and it's heavy on the railway. So they were doing like steam train rides and stuff. It
That's
was
cool.
like there was a parade. It was really fun. It was relaxing. They had a steam room, sauna, hot tub spa thing on the top floor where we stayed, and it was very nice and relaxing. So Salish Lodge, check it out.
You get down with you get down with Stevie rooms, right? I don't mean that in a anything other
Eastern
than like
Promise styles.
East what a Eastern Promise.
Yeah.
P.S. Great film.
I wouldn't say I get down. More like get up. Yeah, no, I really enjoy the finer things of life, you could say.
Nice. Nice. That sounds fun. Brandon,
That
what
was
about
fun.
you?
Anyway.
What's been going on with you?
Not a lot. I spent some time with our friend Ryan, who thank you for your $5 a month, Ryan, for the Patreon.
Don't call
Yeah,
him
that's
out.
right. That's right. Oh, we should
grease those
talk about
palms
we should
and-
talk about Patreon. Use that
Since
as a
we're here.
segue.
Well, right, yeah. If you'd like to join our friend Ryan,
Oh.
And Brandon's- and Brandon- and Brandon's scarf.
Patreon.com/qualified nonsense is
Oh right, yeah. Brandon's here.
$5 a month. Yes, yeah. Brandon, who is in the chat, also join him as well. Yeah, just
think that might
$5 a month gets you
classify-
some extra. Oh,
I think this classifies all of our people as super fans, right? These are our groupies.
Super fans, groupies, yeah. Compatriots, comrades.
Patreons.
Oh shit! I should have thought of that.
Yeah,
Krisha.
$5 a month helps out a lot. Oh no, is my wife on here?
Oh god! Oh jeez!
Oh shit!
We should get a bleep button though, probably.
Oh,
Not for Krisha because she's metal, but like for
So
our
we don't get
parents.
deplatformed from
yeah,
YouTube.
for deep.
I think we should kill beep and beep, and these people should be beep. And I think beep had a lot of good ideas, and if he had just been able to,
And I'm gonna say it. I think beep was right.
Did you guys ever watch Arrested Development back in the day?
I was always told that
Yeah.
that I would enjoy it, but I never watched it.
There's a character Buster on there, and he's like he's kind of just a dum-dum, and he's always like super safe and like a mama's boy, and everybody secretly has a lot of trash talking to do on their mom, and he finally goes off one day, and it's like 30 seconds long of just bleeping, and the brothers and sisters are like, all right. Baby Buster.
yeah, I had a nice. Ryan and I went to lunch. We went to a game shop and a toy store.
Couple of fucking nerds. Where did you go for lunch?
Yeah, Ninkasi Brewing.
We had some drinks and then went to a toy store. When's Chris Hansen gonna bust through your door?
I got a
Come sit down over here.
Ewok toy.
Oh, where's that
You
gonna
know
go?
what you did.
On the shelf over here.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, nothing too exciting. I'm trying to think what happened since we last recorded. I mean,
Nothing.
Life.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
We have a ton of apples now, and the pears are about to be ready. So
Wait,
we've been
really?
just nonstop making. I made like a gallon of apple juice. We made 2 crisps. We dehydrated a bunch of apples. We've made.
Wait, do you have them on your property? You have trees on
yeah.
your property?
Yeah, we have an
Oh,
apple
isn't that
tree,
early?
a Gravenstein apple tree, and a Bartlett pear tree.
I was thinking that we were like on the precipice of apple season. I didn't know that we were in it.
No, Fruit Loop has started.
All right.
Yeah.
What'd
Thanks,
you call
global
me?
warming.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
That's an area in Hood River for those people that probably put some context on that.
No, we didn't get any apples last year, basically, but this year we had an explosion of them, and we in the early spring or late winter, we went to this plant sale thing, and we were talking to a woman there who she said she had an orchard. She said normally they produce like 30,000 pounds of apples every year, but last year the weather was so weird that they only got like 1,500 pounds.
Jeez.
Interesting.
Last year was a weird year for. I know
gonna
that
try to
people came
make,
here for interesting agriculture talk, but
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna continue.
Farmer's Almanac live.
I'm gonna continue on the weird agriculture talk because we were in Alabama on vacation for some reason earlier this year, and
That's where I go for vacation too.
yeah, and it was like midsummer, I guess, or no, early summer, doesn't matter. But peach season was really bizarre this year. There was a cold snap in the spring that killed most of the peaches, and so like normally where you find really cheap, plentiful, like like Georgia peaches all over the South, you can't find them very for very cheap. Normally it's like pounds and pounds on the dollars.
Inflation, am I right?
Well, I think it was less about inflation, more about like the weather that occurred. I'm not saying that global warming is a thing because I know that's a
It's a hot take for live stream.
but yeah, but pretty interesting talking to local farmers about that.
Brandon, you're gonna
Shout
try
out
to
in
make
the chat. Where are my peach lovers at? Where are my apple lovers at?
Boring.
Oh,
and by peaches we mean actual peach, not the emoji. Or where are my peach emoji lovers at?
yeah.
Brandon, you're gonna try to make some
keep it
hard apple cider again. Let's have a little rewind of a story when Brandon tried to make apple cider.
Oh
once.
no.
What
Oh,
happened?
sorry, when he tried to make cider.
It always goes hard. Right. Well, no, this.
Hell yeah, it does.
No, I didn't mean that. What I meant was that it always ferments. Just so everyone on chat is aware, this happens on the regular. I can't form sentences very well, and they end up all sounding a little bit saucy. So
Jake's context is always king.
No, for
oops.
what Matt is talking about is that when we lived together, I read something or saw something that to make hard apple cider, all you do is add yeast to apple juice. And so I bought one of the like Simply apple juice. It's kind of like a bowling pin sort of shaped bottle, a plastic bottle, and just regular like off the shelf bread yeast, like a baking yeast. And so I sprinkled it in, and then just I put the cap back on. I sprinkled it in, put the cap back on, and just set it in a cabinet. And not realizing that when something ferments, it needs to relieve the CO2 pressure that builds from it. And so I checked on it like a day or two later. And it was like quite literally like the shape of a bowling pin. Like the sides were like, it was hard, like hard as a rock, like completely bowed out. And
It should have blown up. It should have just exploded.
yeah,
everywhere.
I'm like, if I had left it any longer, I'm sure we would have had a gigantic mess on our hands in the cupboard. But
Didn't
so I
go ahead.
I just ended up like taking the lid off very carefully, and as soon as I just relieved any pressure, it just shot everywhere. And, yeah, so
Jeez.
I didn't get any hard apple cider like I wanted.
Didn't we also make at some point, didn't we have beer in the garage that was losing their tops?
Yep, that was Ryan's welcome home beer that we made. Because Ryan went to Washington, D.C., and me and Brandon made a stout, but we worked with Ryan on what he wanted it to be, and he wanted like raspberries or something in it. It was like a
Or
raspberry
blackberries,
stout.
I think.
Yeah.
Blackberries. And we put carbonating, like self-carbonating tablets in the bottles, but we may have put a couple too many in some of the bottles, and they were shooting off in the garage. They were over
Or it
carbonating
was like
and exploding.
infected or something.
Yeah.
It was probably all the above.
Yeah, I do remember
It
that.
was like the second time
I
ever
remember
we
it
made
not
beer.
being very good.
Oh, it was awful. It was pretty bad. Anyway,
Not to toot my own
that's-
horn, but I will say that the beer that I make now tastes much better. So
well, you got like a 3-tiered system. You're good.
yeah.
Good to go. We finally read more on the internet rather than like that one thing that I read about adding yeast to a bottle.
Yeah. Click
Hopefully you didn't
click on the
reference
first
that
thing.
part.
How hard could it be?
And you get beer. Boom.
So we are doing this thing just basically to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. So I just want to acknowledge that we have been soldiering on for hey, that doesn't look like beer.
Apple juice. We're talking
Soldiering
about
on
apple juice. Smooth.
for 1 year now, which is honestly longer than I expected we would be doing
No.
this for.
Yeah, I'm happily surprised. We
Yeah,
have changed the
I guess
format.
let's. I mean, I guess let's since we're live, why don't we give a little backstory? Jake, you were actually in town as to how we started this.
Yeah.
You were visiting, and we we spent a night kind of drinking, and
Like you do.
we got to your hotel that you were staying at.
I
Was it
think
yours?
it's didn't it start at the brewery or the tap house that has the black lab in the signage. We first went to
Well, no, we went to Grains of Wrath.
well we went
No, we
we,
went to Ecliptic.
we went to Ecliptic,
Ecliptic.
Grains of Wrath, and then we went to that place on Mississippi that has like a black lab on it. I don't know
Well, I
what the
thought we
name is.
only went there. I thought we
Yeah.
only went to Ecliptic.
Well,
and
either way, it
the-
ended at the hotel bar, right?
Either
The
way,
ho-
we
the
can't
hot-
remember.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
the hotel bar, and we were
can't even get our story straight. Jesus Christ.
we were trying to talk about accountability measures so we don't lose touch with each other, right? And then we're like, well, why don't we just do a podcast so we can record it and make some fun content out of it? And here we are.
Yeah, and obviously a strong effort to
Guess not much of a backstory, but
like hang out more and talk more.
Cool
'cause
story, bro.
we would oftentimes jump in calls together. Like if one of us would initiate, I remember the last call that I initiated from everybody, Matt was like, "Oh Christ, like how long do you have?" And I'm like, "No, I just wanted to say hi to everybody." And he's like, "Oh,
Death stalks you at every turn.
exactly." So, yeah. Anyway, so it's been nice to we're regularly caught up with each other. It also has inspired us to be more in contact with some of our other friends that decided not to pursue the podcast side of it, but
they're still interactive.
Yeah.
And actually, that is a good point because you did say I'm coming into town, and it was kind of an ominous message. So me being the overthinker that I am, I actually contacted everybody independently to make sure we could all meet up. And I was like, I'm not sure what's going on with Jake, but
he's obviously unwell. Ooh, we got a question in chat.
we do. So I was just gonna say, so in interest of like moving the live along, and since we did change the format from when we first started, Brandon Scarth has one in the question, which is complementary to like questions that we're asking now.
Yeah.
So let's start with we'll go with Brandon. What would be the last thing you would take from your home if there was a fire?
The last thing or the first thing, Brandon?
I think
The
maybe you
last
meant to
thing?
say first thing.
The last thing, that'd be funny to think about. Like you've like gotten all the important stuff out, and you're like,
You have
what
everything
could
else.
it looks like I still like the structure still has time. I'll go in and
Oh, no,
get
these-
the
McDonald's napkins I stuffed in a drawer 5 years ago.
all the extra soy sauce packets.
Yeah.
I think I said the last thing. What would be the last thing?
the last thing I would take out.
Well, I mean, I guess imagining that you're leaving and that your house is going to burn down to the ground, like what would be?
Oh, I
basically,
see. The last, like the
last-
final.
Because I mean,
like,
obviously, your first thing would be your children, your spouse, your,
the important
whatever,
people,
like-
yeah, whatever.
but
The boring
yeah,
stuff.
like
If you had one opportunity to go back in after all your
Yeah.
crucial, right? All right, what would it be?
I see. Oh, I see. Gosh, that's interesting because Brandon, that was an astute question actually, because which you already knew. I'm just coming to that right now, but yeah, that's
I'd like to think the rational side of me is like we have a file cabinet back here with all of our like pertinent that's not fire grade.
Oh yeah, Matt, I can tell you right now, you're gonna go for the Prince stuff before you go for that cabinet.
Oh yeah, I would definitely go for like all of my Prince memorabilia. Absolutely, like that's actually from the issue from the day he died in the Star Tribune. I have the whole thing framed behind it, but that's just the front. So I'd like to think I'd be more responsible, but at the time, yeah, definitely not.
Carrie, that's a good point about the photos. But mine are all on drives, and unfortunately, I have most of them stored locally. And you're right, I might go for the hard drives, which is pretty, like, in their like hard drive form. It's not very romantic, but there's a lot of great memories on there. So I'd like dive in for those.
That's a good point. I mean, having the the media company and like everything, like a bunch of my existence is on like
Yeah.
big hard drives as well as family photos and stuff. So
Yeah.
Well, yeah, as
I don't-
far as photos go, like I don't think we like as far as printed photos, I don't think we have like a central repository of photos. So like we have stuff hanging on the walls and things, and I'm not going to go around from room to room like grabbing stuff off the walls.
You remember that in The Jerk? He's like, I don't need anything else. I just need this chair. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It is, yeah, that's a interesting. I don't know, like Brandon, because all of your, I mean, you could make the argument that hard drives would still even survive a fire if you had.
Fire, they'd be. I mean, if it was a. Ooh, I don't know if you guys heard
Ooh,
that.
I heard that.
I've got thunder here. So
Holy shit! I heard
if
that.
the stream
Wow.
goes out, it's not you guys, it's us, and by us I mean me, and by me I mean North Carolina, because
Thanks,
we've got some
South.
storms rolling on through.
Storms coming through. But like Brandon, all of I mean, you put a lot of time and effort into collecting your Funko Pop, your Funko Pops. Would you? What would be your top? Like, if you could,
Funko Pops.
if you could grab
No, I'm not
five,
gonna
what would the
grab
five
those.
be? If you're like, well, I got
Chris is
time
like,
for five.
Chris is like, my leg's stuck. He's like, the Funko Pops.
No, I need these plastic figurines.
Terrible.
The five.
Trisha,
Oh,
please forgive me.
actually, this is a question that Krisha has asked me. She's like, "What are your favorite five, or what are the top?" I mean, it's like
It's a trick question. You say none of them. You're my favorite.
I love you. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, in a fire, I'm not saving any of them. Like
Yeah.
I would probably grab like the cat food or something would be the last thing because the cats would need something to eat. Like I would say something like that.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. I think I'd stick with hard drives or something,
Yeah, I'd have to say,
which is pretty.
yeah, hard drives and equipment because, like, I mean, you can get insurance to cover them, but you're still
out
I
the
mean,
actual data. You don't want.
Yeah, and you
like-
still have a gap, right? You have to wait for insurance to get you the money to do it.
Right. And then you have to value I mean, like you set a value for the data on the drives. Like the drives themselves, like $200-$300. But like the data on the.
Oh no,
on
that's the
drives,
beauty of insurance. That's where you get to actually kind of fuck them over.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
say,
my Van Goghs
aha,
are
no,
already
these
insured,
are
so I'm not
$400,000.
worried about those.
Boring.
All right, boring. So, all right, well, what would Brandon? What would you take? You let
Brandon,
us know in the chat.
Chat. Everybody in chat, jump in. What would be the last thing you take? You're like, oh shit.
I also
I've only
have
got
this.
a moment before the like, roof falls in.
If we're talking about monetary things, I have this custom guitar too that was like actually made for me. So I mean, if we're talking about monetary things or physical things, it would be, along those lines.
Yeah, I would take. You know what
Right,
I
I
would
guess,
do?
like-
The
like
last thing I
boring
would do is
stuff,
just like walk around to each room and like experience the memories in them. You know,
As they're burning.
as they're burning, as I'm burning.
I mean, my answer is
Xbox.
boring. I would say
Yeah,
boring
good.
stuff like medication or I don't know,
Yeah.
stuff that you would probably need tomorrow.
Some shaving cream. You know,
Yeah.
because I don't want to go to Dwayne Reed
Shampoo.
again
Oh, wait.
or whatever. Walgreens
Just
again.
pack my overnight bag.
Pack my overnight bag. That's good. Oh, Krisha, yeah, the place we were sitting outside. Thank you. I'm not crazy. Favorite pillow. Good thinking, Carrie. I'm there. I'm there. Carrie previously said cats and children first, and then photos, important documents. Carrie, you're thinking with your head and in your brains, and I don't know.
Cats and children in that order.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice the order. We see you.
I see you.
That's funny. So normally how these go is that I don't know if I originally said it, but we were gonna try and keep it under an hour, but it looks like we're already gonna be run a little bit long. But that's okay. We're having a good time. But gentlemen, did you come with any questions? Chat, also jump in if you have any other questions or anecdotes or anything. Oh, you know what? Actually, real quick before we move on, a quick note: if you have hard drives like I do and Matt does, like a couple of idiots sitting around,
Please upload them to us.
yeah, well, no, that is not what I was gonna say. Please do not upload them. No, what I was gonna say is, even though it's a pain in the ass, use cloud storage because it's better,
Yeah.
and someone else has your data, but who cares because they will keep it. And places like Microsoft are not gonna go under. So
That's a hot take.
that is a hot take. That's my hot take, and you can disagree with it, Matt. But at the end of the day, if a fire melts your hard drives, you can put monetary cost to it and hopefully get a huge chunk from the insurance company. But you're never
Just-
going to see that stuff again.
Just no.
there you go.
Oh, there you go. No, just make backups and keep one in your. It's not physical storage is not so 1990s, Mike. Especially not when you
Get him out of here!
existed.
Kick him out! No.
How can we block somebody?
God damn it! I feel personally attacked.
Just make backups and keep one in your your glove box.
The glove box. I knew you were going to say the fucking glove box.
All right, I got one. I got a question.
yeah.
So normally at this point we would take a break, which means we would go refill our drinks, but we can't do that tonight.
I
let's see.
realized I forgot to play the theme music over when we were doing the intro.
Son of a
Well,
bitch.
don't do it
play
now.
Nope.
It's just out of
I
context.
failed. I'll do it over the end part. Sorry.
All right, so
listener,
this
if
is
that
this
threw you
is.
off.
I saw a video on TikTok the other day that made me think of this, and I was like, I've actually done this. So it was a video of a girl who was filming her roommate, who had come into her room to fart because her boyfriend was over, and she didn't want to fart in front of her boyfriend, and she was like super embarrassed. Have you guys ever gone to certain lengths when you're with a boyfriend, girl, significant other, that you were just so embarrassed of? And I'll start because I have a prime example.
Okay.
I was with my girlfriend at the time, and she was going to University of Portland, and she lived across the street, and we were cuddling on the couch watching a movie, and I was like, it's like, oh god,
Oh no.
oh man. And she, like, University of Portland, you live in this really small house. There's like 6 girls in this house and 1 bathroom. I was like, nope. And it was like, I was like, for like 35 minutes, I'm holding it in, trying to think of an excuse so I can just go home, which is where we were living on Trumbull, like 2 miles away. Right? It wasn't that far. But my car was unreliable at the time because, come to find out, the water pump was broken, so it would overheat pretty quick. And I was like, nope, totally worth it. And I was just like, I just don't feel good. Like I'm just really. And it was new enough in the relationship where she was just like, are you okay? Like, did I do something wrong? And I didn't have the heart to be like, I was just gonna shit my brains out. I wasn't gonna do
You
it.
fed me chorizo.
Have you guys ever had anything like that? Have you ever been so embarrassed that you're not comfortable with your person, or you're at church or something?
I
And
feel like I thought this was going to be a nice, fun podcast that we talk about like fun, anecdotal things, not so personal. But yeah, I've got it. So I was, I was seeing this girl, and I had to go and in order to see her, I had to travel by plane, and and I at the time I had my. It must have been my diet or something, or like where I was in my development as a person. I was breaking toilets left and right. Like basically, like every time I shit, I would have to like seriously plunge the hell out of a toilet in order to let it flush, and that happened all the time. And so I was so nervous about pooping. I didn't poop for 3 days straight visiting this person, and then it wasn't until I got back. So that was like excruciating. Although that's like I saved a lot of money because I wasn't buying a lot of food because I was like, nope, I'm still full. Like I feel awful.
Mike, I see Mike. Mike just wanted to sign off. Thanks for joining us, and
Thanks,
we
Mike.
appreciate all your support.
Thanks, Mike.
I hope it wasn't all of our potty talk.
Yeah, it was the potty talk. Also, when this question's on Brandon, you can answer, and then Carrie's got a question.
I don't really I don't feel like I've ever hidden anything or like tried to.
Oh, what's it like way up there, Brandon, being better than everybody?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Just destroying bathrooms and coming out and being like, let's get this on. Either you're gonna accept me for who I am, or
What's up?
don't go in there
mean,
for 15 minutes. I got 90 seconds.
Well, I think I've talked about like having like nervous diarrhea at prom or at a homecoming dance or whatever, but like I don't. That was never like hidden from anybody.
You know how you avoid that is you just don't have a prom date. Then you don't have to have nervous diarrhea.
My man. Way to be.
There you go. You could just be like, I'm just going out to get some orange drink and then be gone for 10 minutes. No, I mean, I've never been like nervous to not fart or whatever around.
What about when I used
People?
to sit in the corner in an office that people would have to like approach me and ask me questions and stuff, being an IT support person, and like sometimes I would have like just terrible gas, and it would have happened right before someone was like, "Hey, can you help me with my computer issue?" Exactly, and I'm like, "No, God, I'll come to your desk. Please don't come over here." But yeah, that's that. I mean, I'll say that's one thing nice that COVID brought was being able to work from home and be pantsless and fart at will.
Unless you're in a team meeting, don't stand up pantless.
That's true. You got to stay seated.
Oh, you have a question from
Yeah, Carrie asked a question, and I hope I don't upset Carrie too much. I hope you keep watching. But she said, "What's your favorite donut from Joe's?" And she's, for anybody not in the know, Joe's is a bakery, a donut shop in
it's a donut shop
a donut shop
in Sandy.
Boulangerie.
Oh.
Yeah,
And I have
okay,
to
fancy.
say, I've only I don't know because I've only had a couple of donuts from there, and I haven't really cared for them. So
I think they're
I apologize. No shade because I know a lot of,
timely.
no shade because
R.I.P. Bob Barker.
Yeah, no shade on Joe's. I just never really found myself in there much.
So that's an interesting question because Voodoo Donuts, which is now national franchise, just received the prestigious award of being the world's most overrated tourist attraction, which I found to be relatively accurate.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah. But I will say I disagree with you, Jake, on the Joe's thing. And it was like, I think it's purely a nostalgia thing. Like if you're from there or if you've
Sure.
been to the area and you go up to Mount Hood, it's a rite of passage. And I feel like there's been enough people that I talk to that are not from the area that still reference Joe's Donuts.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh yeah, so good. But I don't know, I feel like it
I
has
know my
changed.
wife is listening, and she's not from Sandy, and she has Joe's Donuts. She's had Joe's Donuts, and so I think she agrees that they're probably like the best donuts the money can buy. So if you agree, sweetheart, chime in the chat. But
A place unaffected by time and inflation. Like their prices are still the same too, which I find to be
That should give you a pretty good
Interesting.
indication as to
it's a really small shop. Look it
No,
up, Joe's
I'm-
Donuts. It's red and
yeah.
white checkered. But the question remains, I'm gonna say Bear Claw, or the first would be just the regular maple bar.
yeah, the maple bars are hard to beat. Bear Claws, excellent. I really like their fritters. Apple, they have a really good cherry fritter. Actually, their cherry fritter might be my favorite.
guys, did you know that maple bars aren't a thing? Not in the Pacific Northwest?
Aren't they called Long Johns or something?
I don't know,
elsewhere?
but they don't fucking have them over here. The ones that they do have are weird, and they're not maple bars.
I will say Joe's has
I know.
kind of caved to
Shocking.
pressure because Voodoo, and this I guess is to tie it all back together.
Cherry
Voodoo,
fritter is Carrie's favorite. She wanted to
there you go.
mention that.
So Voodoo Donuts had done a maple bacon bar that they got famous for,
Right.
or one of the reasons why they got famous. And I did notice the last time I was in Joe's, they now have a maple bacon bar, and I was like, oh, you should have just stuck with.
Yeah.
You don't need peer pressure to tell you.
Yeah. You don't need that shit.
But the context being Joe's Donuts is like that spot you go into, and there's the group of like 5 old people that are sitting around talking about when the days used to be ... kids these days, and you know,
Do they have
all
coffee
the
there? They must.
yeah,
Is it good?
it's coffee.
My withered face remind you of the grim specter of death?
That's what they sound like. Yep.
We tend to orbit death in this podcast for some reason. maybe all podcasts do, but that seems to be a frequent. Okay, that's a good question. I like that, Carrie. That's nice. Thank you for tossing it in there. What about Brandon? Did you come with anything, or do you want me to?
Yeah. So I sent you guys an article. Hopefully, you got a chance to take a peek at it. But I wanted to ask. I don't know if you're familiar or if you've seen people posting things on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, saying my toxic trait is blah blah blah. Like my toxic trait is buying Starbucks 7 days a week and telling my husband I'm saving the money or whatever, something like that.
So I'm gonna stop you there though, because the article you sent us is like much more self-reflective of being like, what's your I'm sneakiness, I'm thoughtfulness, I'm stinginess, greediness,
I know,
arrogance.
some of those were pretty funny. I was
Because I was
"What?"
gonna say, what's my toxic trait? My toxic trait is I'm the only man in the house, and I still refuse to put the toilet seat down. Even the dog's a girl.
So yes, yeah, Matt, that is my question. So what is your toxic trait?
Before we get
Well,
into
according-
that, real quick,
Internet slang toxic
real quick,
trait.
2 updates. Krisha wants to chime in and say the cherry and blueberry fritters are the best. I
Oh, yeah.
assume those are separate. They're not combined. And then Rebecca Level's in. Hi, Rebecca. Thanks for tuning in. And if
what's up?
if she's going to Joe's, she's gonna have a jelly filled. So,
Jelly filled.
Mad respect. Mad respect. Brandon,
That's fair.
your question.
Yes. So a toxic trait
trait.
is basically something that you do that could be sort of seen as harmful. Not harmful. It seems harsh, but harmful to others. That
So
but
according
not
to
in
the
an
article you
overt
sent us
way.
earlier, Brandon, I'm gonna say mine is conflict avoidance. I try to avoid it as much as possible. I hate conflict, so I'll do anything I can to get around it.
Do you have an
But if we're
example,
talking-
or
And avoiding a conflict would be an
What did you
example.
say? No,
I don't do well with this.
say it to my face.
no, thank you.
Come at me, bro. But if we're talking like internet slang, because I see all the like, well, my toxic trait is I ask for 4 pumps of pumpkin spice. Like
It is online. That's the kind of stuff you do see. It's always like kind of benign, like, oh, I go out for 4th meal after dinner or whatever. Like,
yeah, that's definitely mine. Like mine is I guess would be like overindulgence of like things I enjoy of. Oh, I already had dinner, but I'm on the way home and I stayed late at work. I may as well get another burrito.
Yeah.
I
was scrolling through and I saw a bunch of like like negativity, cynicism stuff, and I try to keep it peppy here, but I can oftentimes sort of spiral out into the negativity, even though I try not to. And
it's so easy.
it is so easy, and like the more you learn about stuff, I don't know, the older you get, you're just like, oh Christ, this too. About everything, but one thing that I have found that is toxic in my relationship with my poor sweet partner is that I'm with that sort of cynicism and negativity. I am oftentimes reflective with it, so I like sort of bully myself either verbally or I guess verbally, and what can sometimes happen is that I sort of unintentionally hijack legitimate call outs or complaints by being negative about myself. And an example of that, anyway, an example of that is like if
Well,
there's
that was
like
in this article. That was referenced in here.
oh, it was.
Yeah. Let's
I
see
must
here.
have missed it.
Keep going because it was towards the bottom.
It was like yeah. Anyway, I've since talked about it, and I try with strong effort not to do it because I realize the negative impact of it in conversations with my wife. But yeah, like basically like if she has a legitimate complaint or a legitimate, feedback for me or my behavior or something like that, and I can sometimes sort of double down on the negativity. I'm like, that is in some way negative towards myself, and then she has to then
Yeah.
like defend me, which is fucked up, and I shouldn't be like,
Yeah.
I shouldn't do it.
They see them as a victim of their own behavior.
I mean, I guess so. I guess it's
Because you
I
would
guess
turn
it's
it
kind of
negative
like
about
that.
yourself, about something that is like somebody's airing a grievance about you. I do the same thing.
Right. So if she has like a legitimate like grievance, sure. Yeah. If it's a grievance about myself, and then I talk about, oh, it's an element of like my core being. And then she's like, no, I don't mean it like that. I just am talking about this one thing. But then I'm like, oh, it's me. And I don't like that makes me sound like a self-indulgent piece of shit. But like, and hopefully I'm not that, but I have noticed that, and we've talked about it a lot. And so I make a strong effort not to, but I do see it slipping in because I'm the
I think
kind.
Taylor Swift has a song about this too.
Oh God, I saw a horrible meme the other day that was not appropriate for this podcast. So what is your Brandon? What's yours?
I just go. Just share your screen. Let's see it.
No, the meme was Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift makes music for gross women who give teethy head, and and it made me chuckle, but it didn't make me feel good.
I saw one
Anyway.
I saw one years ago. Since we're talking about music, and this will kind of deflect from it. And this I don't remember laughing this hard after we were doing a collaboration at Fort George, and they had this whiteboard that was about things that needed to happen of the day of the brew day, and there was always a quote, and somebody had written on the board, "Cardi B makes music for people that steal at garage sales." It's like, I was like, what the fuck? I don't know. It made me laugh so hard
That I like that. That's
because I thought it was pretty damn accurate.
I really like Cardi B. Like I think her shit is great. Like
Did you just see her throw a microphone at somebody in
was
Vegas?
that Cardi B? I only saw the
Yeah.
clip of it. That's good. Good. People
Yeah,
get
she also simultaneously got roasted, like rightfully so. She had somebody throw a drink at her, and I'd throw something at her, but she was clearly lip syncing because she threw a microphone and she kept singing.
wow. There's
And
that.
she got roasted online. I was like, wow, she's very talented. How do you keep singing like that? Yeah.
Chris,
I think. Oh,
Chris just said, Brandon, you should try one. This is I have to scroll
Brandon
back a little
Scarth.
bit. Brandon Scarth.
This is chat banter.
Yeah, blueberry fritter. Brandon doesn't have the chat up,
Joe's.
so we're having to make sure to communicate to him.
Oh, she's talking to Brandon Scarth.
Oh.
It's in chat banter.
You mean she's not talking to her forever boyfriend on
Her other Brandon.
That's okay. Got it. Brandon, I'm sorry. Chat, you do your thing. You're good. You're good. My bad. Brandon
Carry
Bernhardt. Yeah.
yeah. I think my toxic trait from this list I sent you, I think is thoughtlessness. I think I say things a lot or do things without thinking of how it impacts people. I think I'll say something just off the cuff and without really realizing, oh God, I didn't even think that,
Yeah, I've been
this
there.
person's dad died or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
or just doing things without really thinking of how it will, like, I'll just do this, and then without considering the implications or yeah.
I agree with you on that. I used to be that way, like through and through, and was pretty unapologetic about it. It was like, well, I'm sorry that that's happening in your life, but that's,
Yeah.
but I think the older I've gotten and like more, involved, especially with being a business owner and stuff, you can't necessarily just be so. It's like it takes a lot of thought to just say, don't say that.
Yeah, the effort put in to like
Yeah.
just shut up, just don't say whatever you're thinking.
Yep.
Yeah.
And not that like I'm like just I'm just gonna say whatever I want and you have to deal with it. Like I'm not like
If you
that.
don't like
but
it, you can get out.
Attend my comedy show.
yeah. So I don't know. Do you guys have questions for the other two of us?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well, since
asked
you put
I asked
it like
mine
that-
already.
No, I've got it. Yeah. So
Oh yeah.
tomorrow is the first day of second grade for my 7-year-old, and
Ooh.
it has made me think about school. And I have a couple of questions surrounding school. Do you guys remember how early of a grade do you remember? And did you have like first day, like memories or thoughts or fears or anything like that you'd like to get off your chest now?
I remember always being like super. I'm still like I get nervous when I go into new situations that I'm
Sure.
not familiar with. So like going to class as a kid always freaked me out. Even if it was like into high school,
Yeah.
it's just a new like, oh, am I gonna remember my locker combination, or am I gonna be that doofus? Like, and turns out I was. But I think the first day of school that I really remember was fifth grade because I had Miss Wagner, and she was like one of the more influential teachers on me. And she was just so welcoming, and I think that's what
Fifth
made
grade.
it
Which
the most
school
memorable.
did you go to?
Sandy grade,
Sandy grade.
yeah. I think that's what made it so memorable, is that she was so welcoming as to where, and to all the teachers' defenses, like there's a lot of kids coming in that they don't even know themselves. So, but it felt like she took the time with every single kid. So I don't know, that's just stuck in my mind.
Yeah. Nice.
I don't remember any specific first days, but I don't remember ever being nervous about them. As far as like K through 12 goes. I always liked school, and I guess I kind of looked at it as I got older. Like the first day is always kind of an easy day anyway. So it wasn't ever super stressful for me. But I think having friends or having things to look forward to helps for sure.
So you didn't have nervous diarrhea back then?
No, not on first day. No, first day of gym.
First day of grade school. I need to use the bathroom. Sure you do.
Or
Brandon,
like
I
when
see-
you're like super young and like the bathroom is in the classroom.
Oh Jesus.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Keep the door closed.
Go during nap time, during quiet time, like
Brandon,
dream music happening.
Brandon Scarth, I see you. You're having to dip out.
Jake,
Thanks
you're
for
muted.
thanks
You're
for.
muted.
Oh shit. Brandon, I see you're dipping out. Brandon Scarth, thanks for showing up, giving us a hi. Appreciate the question, and I hope you have a good rest of the night.
Thanks.
Yeah, first days for me, I don't have any memory specifically of first day. However, the first of being reacclimated
There's a homeschool joke in here somewhere.
Well, yeah. First day of homeschooling was easy peasy lemon squeezy. But I do remember the first day of going to high school because I was 3 years coming out of 3 years of homeschooling, and I was awkward to say the very least. And that was just, yeah, I mean, I remember that being quite impactful, and I'm grateful to these gentlemen here and some of our other friends to have helped me get through that awkwardness with some grace. Well, I'll say grace, but that was probably lacking in. But
On
yeah,
our side, yeah, it was more razzing.
Yeah, razzing. No, but it was good. Did you guys have favorite subjects?
I mean, I always enjoyed the theater stuff that we got to do, but
Yeah.
and I don't know why I enjoyed it so much. I think it was probably because of the teacher, but Mr. Stewart. But I really enjoyed math for some reason, even though I was terrible at it.
Mm-hmm.
I was not good at it, but he made the subject and the topic pretty approachable.
Who?
Mr. Stewart, Aaron
Oh,
Stewart.
yeah, he was cool. I enjoyed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the theater stuff because that felt just more fun than
Right, it wasn't really
academic.
work.
And, I also think biology. I really like biology class and learning about
Did you guys have to
living, living things.
dissect a cat?
No,
No.
I did a frog in middle school.
Yeah, we did.
But
Frogs in middle school.
We did a. Yeah. No, we didn't do anything like that.
I remember for some reason I remember there being cat dissection, but it must have been AP or some advanced biology class. Because I was like, I didn't have to do that, and I was like, will I have to? I was still new. I was like, is this real life?
That's
what
the
about
teacher's way of of hazing a homeschool kid.
Hey, fuck you. Welcome to hell.
Look at
Chat.
this weirdo. He's dissecting a cat over here.
Hey, look at this fucking weirdo. Chat. What were your favorite classes? What do you guys have any favorite memories from school? And I guess my last question about
Well, yeah, if Rebecca's still here, we went to school with her.
oh, that's true. Yeah.
Do you have a... Anybody else?
Oh, zoology. Carrie said that they did that for zoology. Did they have zoology in high
Oh.
school?
I
I don't remember that. I wasn't
don't know.
very sophisticated though for the biologies
Uh,
stuffs.
Maybe?
It could have. I'm sure it was probably an advanced like biology course. And then
Well-
lastly, did you have a favorite college course? Because Matt, you did take classes and you didn't graduate though, right? But you took classes
Correct.
at PSU.
Well, I went to... Yeah, well, so I went to Montana for 1 year at a small Bible college.
Right.
Which I did enjoy those classes, even though like it was pretty clear I had lost my religion. We did have some pretty good conversations, and Montana was just a good time.
Yeah.
But I did come back and attended PSU for about a year and a half.
I know we talked about this at one point, but when you did go to Bible college, it was, I'm calling it Bible college because I don't, is that the right way to call
I mean,
it?
that's really what it was. Yeah, it was a
Did-
Christian.
was everything
Christian-centric.
centered around, did everything come back to God?
No, not necessarily. There was a philosophy class that was around that, and we talked about everything like Greek mythology and stuff. But that was pretty much that, and there was a writing class. But for the most part, yeah, it was all heavily on leaning towards religion.
Yeah.
But I knew what I was getting into.
Sure. No, I know. Yeah. It is really interesting. I took a obviously like for as much as we probably razzed you about that, I fucking went to University of Portland, which is essentially a Bible college. Like it had a lot of other stuff going
Yeah.
for it, but like,
And you paid a lot for it. I didn't pay anything for mine.
oh man, I paid it out the fucking nose. But it was interesting. I found it really troubling. It was really interesting. I took this Bible class about the Old Testament and the New Testament and and like the sort of science behind it, or rather the history behind it and all of the redactions that occurred and the editing that occurred and all the different schools of thought. Whereas like the book of fucking John or whatever wasn't written by a dude named John. It was written by like a group of people who like subscribed to the John blah 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 whatever. Anyway, it was really interesting class because it had a lot of interesting, like the professor was really invested in the history and he delivered a lot of really interesting information. And what I didn't understand at the end of it was that he, not at the end, but at sort of the beginning, he still considered it a religious, or like the gospel. He still considered it a religious text to follow, but he also knew all of the history and how fucked up the history was of the New Testament specifically, but then also the Old Testament. And it's just like a concatenation of like a bunch of mythology and a bunch of fucking other stories. It's so weird. I really enjoyed it, but I was so baffled by the thought that it was like, oh yeah, it's imperfect, but it's not only imperfect, like it's wildly like edited by humans. So it's like, what?
Yeah, I guess the funny part about my experience is that I was more or less asked not to come back because
Oh, I don't think I realized that or remembered that.
yeah. Real quick.
Oh,
Rebecca said she
popping
loved math with Spinder, and dissecting
Spinder.
a cat happened in anatomy.
Oh,
Did you take anatomy, Jake?
no, nope, sure didn't. Still don't know where some things are. Kat,
That's what the internet's for.
Rebecca, did you do that? And also, Rebecca, since the episode that you asked a question, which P.S. I hope you got that shit figured out and you squashed that motherfucker that was trying to tread on you. Did we call you? Yeah. Did we call you Becca? Was it Becca in high school?
She was Fouts. Was a maiden name.
I know Fouts, but I was trying to remember what people.
Yeah, let's dox her on a live stream.
Yeah.
No, oh shit. No, luckily there's only 9 people watching now. You're okay. Your secret's safe here.
Jake,
you
I
don't
thought
have-
you called her a different name.
You don't have to answer.
I'm kidding.
I was just trying to remember when we were recording it earlier. Anyway,
So real quick about the Bible college. So
Yeah.
I was asked more or less not to come back because I think my pastor actually set me up for I'm going to call it success. Everybody else might call it failure. But so concordances they break down languages, the Greek and Hebrew between Old and New Testament, and they tell you what it was actually translated as at the time. So obviously, me going in with a very contentious behavior wanted to talk about homosexuality and abortion. Let's just talk about that for an entire school year. But if you break down, right, they're often referred to homosexuality as an abomination, right? But abomination actually translated into the concordance was uncommon, right? We know abomination currently to mean wrong, destructful, like bad. But abomination at the time meant uncommon. So I was like, are we saying that it's very bad when it's like I'm looking at this right here that you're telling me to look at means that it's uncommon? And even in 2003 in Montana, of course, homosexuality is a bit uncommon. And it was like, and they were just like dumbfounded that somebody would bring that up in class.
They're like, you can
Like, it's like, he's like, class is over early today. But Matt, let me see you outside.
But homosexuality is wrong, right? But you just showed me but yeah, that's
So
upsetting. I didn't know that about.
But I also really enjoyed those conversations because I felt like I was actually challenging myself to think critically, and they all the time just got defensive. Like, well, if you don't believe this, I was like, well, it's not that I don't believe this. I'm just asking for clarification, and you can't give that to me. So
that's interesting because that suits your personality really well. In that you like to talk like about real things with people, not just the tertiary sort of fluff that oftentimes happens between
that
people.
is also one of the article that Brandon sent us about toxic traits is argumentativeness, and I think that might also be one of my good old number 10.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate because you do like to like kind of like rebut things or say, well, yeah, but like,
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, but still, fucking
Anyway.
but still kills me.
I think I took a lot of kind of bullshit classes in college, and a couple that were my favorites that I took were vampirism and film.
Nice.
Gotta love those
yeah.
liberal arts schools.
Yeah. I went to Portland State University, which is not to be confused with the University of Portland. Mine was the more slumming it school. But and then another one that I took for a PE credit was bowling, and I really enjoyed
You took
that.
bowling?
Yeah.
I remember that because we got to
I
use
vaguely
we got to
remember that.
use your. We would go down to the school on Friday nights and bowl like super cheap.
Yeah, PSU has a bowling alley, and the whole class was. I mean, they kind of taught you how to bowl, but it was more they just taught you how to like keep score, and all you had to do was just bowl 2 games per class, and that was it.
That's a pretty.
You also
cush
did a
class.
ping pong class, didn't you? Did you do a ping pong class?
No, I didn't do. That might have been Phil, maybe. I don't know.
Sorry, table tennis.
Yeah.
I
So,
always found
yeah,
that
those
interesting
are a
about
couple of my
PSU.
favorites.
They would what was the course called where you didn't have to actually take math classes or writing classes if you followed their program from freshman to senior year. It was like the freshman
like
inquiry,
yeah, like their and
I
with the
vaguely remember that.
capstone
Yeah.
thing.
the senior capstone, the junior cluster, or whatever.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember what that was called. Yeah.
Like reading Frankenstein classified as science credits and shit like that. I was like, what the? No way.
No shot that is happening.
I'm serious. That's
wild.
I found that desirable because as much as I enjoyed math, I was terrible at it.
Yeah,
And
it
I was
wasn't
like,
like you're gonna be.
I was
out there.
looking.
Yeah.
I was dreading it. I was like, oh God, I don't know any of these professors. They're not going to be my friends. They're not going to help me out.
Well, is that
work.
a show, a live stream?
I think that's a show.
I don't know. Yeah, I think that's a show. What are we at?
Anybody,
10:07?
well,
That's
let's
great.
give
Ooh,
a few
Becca.
minutes. Is there any
Becca, I knew that. I had
any
to
other
ask, though.
other questions while we got our listeners here? Hit us with some fun questions. Like,
Oh,
I'm wondering if it's because there's a delay. Maybe.
there is a delay,
How far?
but also
Wait, how
it's
far
like-
are we on delay? I'm gonna clap. Okay, let's see where that goes. Oh, it's not that much of a delay.
Did it just happen?
Yeah.
All right, not too bad. No, we could probably wrap it up unless we'll banter for a second if anyone wants to drop in a question or a comment or what anyone's having for beverages this evening.
Well,
What
what we
have
should do
you?
is thank everybody for listening, for showing up. It does mean a lot to us. We really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. We didn't think that we get anybody to show up, so the fact that there's
Listen, we're
9
winning.
of you is a miracle.
We are winning.
Uh,
I'd call it. Yeah.
yeah, it does mean a lot, and hopefully, I mean, if you did enjoy this, let us know, and we are happy to try it again in the future. But
Yeah.
if maybe you're just now joining us for whatever reason, we'll have this as a live,
See you
or
later.
as a regular episode.
Yeah, we'll edit
later
this
this
into
week,
a regular episode that'll be shown on, what is it, the 26th or something? 30th. Today's the
30th.
27th. Doesn't
Seventh.
matter.
It'll
The
be shown
30th.
yesterday.
Yesterday, we have broken the space-time continuum. Time-space
Continuum.
Yeah. That'll be a
Nice.
different episode that we talk about black holes and. All right, everybody.
But,
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you all for listening. Here we go.
And if my
there's
parents
the
tuned
music.
in, I'm sorry for all the swearing, but I'm not.
Yeah, I am. I got nothing to say there. Thanks, everybody. Carrie,
Send
good to see
any
ya.
questions or comments to qualifiednonsense@gmail.com or hit us up on our socials found in the episode description. Don't forget to rate, review, share, like, and subscribe on your podcast app of choice. If you haven't already, please check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/qualifiednonsense. and sign up for just $5 a month to help us keep the lights on and get some bonus content while you're at it. We'll see you back here next Wednesday for another brand new episode of Qualified Nonsense.
Carrie, Krisha, Becca, thanks for tuning in till the end. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
All right.
Okay, now the credits are rolling and we're muted. Well, yeah, that was fun. I had a good time. Nine people? Yeah. Brandon, I realized it now, but I assume Krisha's at home. Next time, you'll probably want Krisha to use her phone's network and not the Wi-Fi to stream it, because your audio was fine through it. Your visual quality was down. At its height, 10, including Matt. And then for most of it, it was 9, including Matt. Chat delay is pretty big. Oh, damn. That's too bad. Well, so next time, so the restream chat, just to show you guys what the audience sees. Oh, I'm going to stop recording now. Oh no, my mic's been on the whole time.